Okay, today we are going to be talking about variance and standard deviation. Variance is the average of the squares of the distance each value is from the mean. There are two types of variances, population and sample. And for population, you have the sigma squared and then just sigma. And these are sigma. And population is also known as parameter. The second kind is sample, and you just represent that with an S squared and an S. And this is also known as statistic. There is an equation for population variance, and it is this, the sigma squared we will later be using this in an example. Next, we have the definition of standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of a variance. It is also a measure of how spread out your data is. And the equation for this one is sigma, not sigma squared, just regular sigma, square root So next we are going to do an example. Our example, we have a population of 20, 40, 30, and 50. So our step one, you need to find the mean. So we will add 20 plus 40 plus 30 plus 50. And then we're going to divide that by how many variables we have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get 35 for that answer. Step 2, we are going to find the population variance. So we are going to write the formula, which will be sigma squared so that we are going to take each one of these numbers and subtract it by the mean total, and then we are going to square it. So we will have 20 minus 35 squared plus 40 minus 35 squared plus 30 minus 35 squared plus 50 minus 35 squared. And we're going to divide all of this by the variable number of 4. So our next step is to subtract 20 from 35 and to square it. And that number is 225. 40 minus 35 squared is 25. 30 minus 35 squared is 25. And 50 minus 35 squared is 225, and we are going to bring your 4 down, and that's all going to be divisible by 4, and that gives your answer of 125. So this answer is your population variance. Next, our third and final step is to find population standard deviation. this one is very simple. We're just going to have the sigma equals square root of sigma squared. And your sigma squared was your 125. So you will plug that in, or you can just do sigma squared equals 125 so you know what you're plugging into here. So you're going to write sigma equals square root 125. And when you work that out, it's going to give you 5 square root 5, which is equivalent to 11.18. So you have three answers: your mean, your population variance, and your population standard deviation. Next, we're going to do another example. We are going to have brand A paint. We're going to have 10, 60, 50, 30, 40, and 20. Since this is more numbers, we are going to create a chart. And these are the months. So we're going to have months. Months is also going to be the variable x. And so we're going to have 10, 60, 50, 30, 40, and 20. Our next column we are going to have 35, because that is the mean. And we will get the mean later on to show how to plug this in. This is what the little mu stands for, is the mean. And so, our next one is going to be the variable minus the mean. And then our next column is going to be the variable minus the mean squared. So to find the mean, we're going to add all these together and divide it by 6. And your mean is 35, and that is where you plug the 35 in over here. So now what we're going to do is find the population variance. But first we have to find the months subtracted from the U. So 10 minus 35 is negative 25. 60 minus 35 is 25. 50 would be 15. 30 minus 35 is negative 5. 40 minus 35 is 5. And 20 minus 35 is negative 15. So now what we are going to do is take these numbers that we have gotten, and then we are going to square root these. So this would be 625, 625, 225, 25, 25, and 225 again. So now we're going to find the population variance. So we're going to have our sigma squared equals 1,750 over 6. And if you're wondering where I got 1,750, it is this last column. It's all these numbers added together because you have to have a total. So when we divide that out, our answer is 291.76. And this is our population variance. Next, we are going to find population standard deviation. So we are going to have our sigma equals square root sigma squared. So that equals, we're going to bring this down and fill it in here, 291.76, and that equals 17.09. So our answers for our mean is 35. The answer for our population variance is 291.76, and our answer for our population standard deviation is 17.09.